A commonly asked question is whether or not you can drink alcohol when you're doing a ketogenic diet with intermittent or extended fasting to reverse diabetes.
I'm Jackie, here to answer questions about my journey from fat weakened sick to trim, strong, and healthy.
So there are several reasons this may or may not be a good idea. First of all, in terms of weight loss, while alcohol does not have any carbs or protein or fat and is not going to affect your insulin hardly at all, if you're talking just alcohol and not talking mixers or beer that's very carby or whatever, but if you're just talking about alcohol, it does have calories, and those are calories that have to be burnt before the ones on your butt and belly. My drinking was never more than a few times a year, so it wasn't very relevant to me. But if you're drinking a couple cocktails a night, it could be pretty relevant to you. It depends. I don't have an opinion on how much you drink. I would say if you're drinking several drinks several times a week, maybe you want to cut that out. But the more important reason than it's slowing down weight loss, if you ask me, is that diabetes is primarily type 2 diabetes. 2, not 1. Type 1 is a disorder of the pancreas. Type 2 is primarily a disorder of the liver. As we are trying to reverse our diabetes, the intention is to heal the liver, get rid of fatty liver, and it just seems like pouring a bunch of alcohol that has to be processed by the liver in is very contrary to what we're trying to accomplish. Those are two good reasons to not drink while you're reversing diabetes, but I personally have a third one. I've only been really seriously drunk like a handful of times in my life, and I used to joke I seem to do it about once a decade, that being how often I forgot how bad it was last time. But even when I have not gotten very seriously drunk and I've just been kind of buzzed, I have a tendency to completely forget about what I'm eating. My inhibitions go down. The last time I got very seriously drunk with my daughter, actually, we were at karaoke. I thought it was an amusing trick to drink her drinks as well as mine, like trade them back and forth. And it was amusing, except she didn't notice the time and I got smashed. I completely forgot I was diabetic. I ate all the things that night. And then, the next day, when I tested my blood sugar, it was down low. Why? Because my liver was busy with the booze. It could not do anything with the glucose I was shoving in it. And I was joking that alcoholism is apparently the cure for diabetes. But because of that, and it's actually the same reason I don't smoke pot, which I don't object to and I have no issues with, and I don't care if you do, and I don't think it's terrible. It's just that it causes the munchies, okay? And I can't afford the munchies. I don't know if I'll feel differently about these ever in the future. They're not, unlike carbs, they're not hard-nosed for me. They're soft-nosed. They're like, I don't do this now, and I can say I'm not the type of person who is going to order a pizza when she has a bad day again. Can't say I'm not the type of person that won't smoke a doobie or have a drink when she's had a bad day. But I am nervous about it because of the lowering of inhibitions and the munchies, which are not things I really feel like I need to experience. There's also, now that I'm not constantly in pain, I was on narcotics for a very long time due to pain. Now that I'm not constantly in pain, I enjoy not having brain fog and having a functional brain, and I enjoy the feelings of life. I know that sounds kind of corny. I enjoy hiking in the woods. I enjoy camping. I enjoy gardening and having my hands in the dirt. And I want to feel all that. Which again doesn't mean that I'm never going to drink again or that I'll never smoke any pot again. It just means that for now, the risk doesn't seem worth it. And I'm much busier feeling things than needing anything to be numbed out. Life is good, and it's good, fine for me sober. Again, not criticize anyone else or saying what you should or shouldn't do. And if you drink occasionally, I mean, the most I ever drank was 3 or 4 times a year. And if you're drinking like that, it's probably not going to make much difference, honestly. If you're drinking much more than that, if it's an issue that you have to ask, is it okay if I can drink alcohol? This is not the same as asking whether or not you can drink coffee. Coffee is an addiction that does not work against this way of eating. Whereas alcohol, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Certainly if you're drinking every day, that might be a problem, and it's definitely going to slow you down. So that's my thoughts on alcohol. Amanda has stricter thoughts than I do, and I will link to her video below if you want to have another viewpoint on this topic.